What if we found a skull on Mars? Imagine it, a lone, bleached object in the red dust, its empty sockets staring at a pink sky. Such a discovery would change everything, answering the age-old question, are we alone? But what Perseverance found in Jezero Crater wasn't a fossil but a rock, eerily shaped like a skull. Its pale, rounded form, with two dark holes and a nose-like cavity, blurred the line between science and science fiction. Our minds raced, but science prevailed. This was geology, not biology. Nicknamed Skull Hill, the rock's strangeness was a puzzle in itself. Why did it look like that? How did it get there? Even when we debunk the fantastical, we're left with deeper mysteries. The rock wasn't a skull, but it was a clue, a signpost to Mars's violent, dynamic history. Our brains are wired for pareidolia, seeing faces in random shapes, a cosmic Rorschach test. But this was more than a trick of the eye. Its odd shape and placement demanded investigation. For Perseverance's team, this was an opportunity to use the rover's instruments to peel back the layers of time. The skull was a story waiting to be told. On Mars, even a rock can spark a revolution in our understanding, and so, the investigation began. To understand the skull rock, you have to understand Jezero Crater, a place that was once a deep, calm lake. Billions of years ago, water flowed here, creating a fan-shaped delta and depositing sediments. Water is the key to life, and Jezero's rocks are time capsules from a more habitable Mars. The skull rock stood out in Hogwallow Flats, a region of fine-grained sedimentary rocks. It was larger, lighter, and different in texture, a clue it had a different origin. Perhaps it was carried here by a catastrophic flood long after the lake vanished. Perseverance's cameras captured detailed images, allowing scientists to study its features up close. The rover's laser, part of SuperCam, was ready to analyze its chemical composition. Every stone in Jezero is a witness to Mars's past. The Skull Rock's journey was a mystery one Perseverance was built to solve. Its secrets were about to be revealed. Mars was ready to tell another chapter of its story. What created those skull-like features? Scientists considered chemical weathering, water dissolving softer minerals leaving hollow cavities. On Earth, this creates pitted rocks. On Mars, it would be evidence of water's long presence. Another theory, relentless Martian winds, sand-blasting the rock over eons, sculpting it into strange shapes. The dark patches raised another question. Was it a meteorite? Meteorites often have a dark fusion crust, but the skull rock lacked the metallic sheen and typical features. The evidence pointed away from a space rock and back to Mars itself. The skull rock was not from the sky, it was born of Mars. Its true story was written in volcanic stone. Perseverance's Pixel instrument mapped the rock's elemental composition, revealing a classic signature of igneous rock, formed from cooled magma. The skull was volcanic, rich in olivine and pyroxene. It could be a remnant of ancient lava flows later sculpted by water and wind. Or it might be an ejecta block, blasted from the ground by a massive asteroid impact and flung into the lakebed. This explained why it seemed so out of place. With its volcanic identity confirmed, the meteorite theory was dismissed. The skull rock was Martian, through and through. This was a triumph for science and Perseverance's capabilities. From millions of miles away, we identified, analyzed, and placed this rock in Mars's geological history. The skull was no longer just a curiosity, it was a key piece of the Jezero puzzle, and Perseverance's work was just beginning. Mars was giving up its secrets, one rock at a time. While Perseverance explored Jezero, Curiosity was making discoveries in Gale Crater. One major find siderite, an iron carbonate that forms in low-oxygen water. Its presence helped solve the mystery of Mars's missing atmosphere. Early Mars had a thick, CO2-rich atmosphere, but much of it vanished. Curiosity's discovery showed that carbon dioxide was locked away in rocks, not just lost to space. Unlike Earth, Mars's carbon cycle was a one-way street, no plate tectonics to recycle the gas. As CO2 vanished, Mars grew colder and drier. Curiosity also found organic molecules, the building blocks of life preserved in ancient mudstones. These aren't proof of life, but finding them in habitable environments is exciting. All the ingredients for life were present on ancient Mars. The only question, did life ever emerge? The pantry was stocked, was there ever a chef? The search for answers continues. In the end, the skull on Mars was just a rock volcanic sculpted by water and wind, perhaps hurled by a cataclysmic impact. But its significance is profound. The rock is a symbol of everything we've learned about Mars, a world once active with rivers, lakes, and a dynamic climate. It represents the process of scientific inquiry, mystery, investigation, and discovery. Perseverance is now drilling and caching rock cores, collecting Martian history in titanium tubes. The next challenge, bringing these samples home. The Mars Sample Return mission will let us study them in detail, searching for proof of past life. The skull rock wasn't a fossil, but it reminds us why we explore. It hints at a Mars that was once more like Earth, a world that may have harbored life. It stands as a silent invitation to keep searching, digging, and questioning. The red planet still guards its secrets, but with each discovery we get closer to understanding Mars and our own place in the universe. The search continues.